There is a hurricane of violence hovering over our community right now, with one side shooting at the other side, and someone fills those shoes and starts shooting back at the other side.
With developing news tonight out of Columbia, police say 2 teens are dead and 1 adult is seriously injured after 2 separate shootings over
Avenue and Forest Avenue. When officers arrived, they say they found 28-year-old Sam Baldwin and 18-year-old Nadria White with gunshot wounds.
At first glance, Columbia, Missouri seems like your typical college town, but there's a dark side to Columbia that many should feel blessed they don't get to see. Since 2019, an ongoing feud between major players in the Columbia rap game repping the east or west sides of the city has led to escalating violence and tragedy. Unfortunately, in a beef this large, bodies don't have names. This rap war has already claimed multiple lives and left many others severely injured or scarred. There are constant back-and-forth attacks happening between the 2 divided sides of town. From stalking to drive-by shootings, nothing is a surprise anymore. With more twists and turns in this rap feud than there are police in the city, we'll work to peel back the complex layers of this war and take a closer look at the key players involved. This beef has led to chilling shootings, lives lost, and families torn apart by grief and pain. The streets are gruesomely stained red with bloodshed and attacks. The full scope of this beef and its trauma may never be fully known. But one thing is clear: the feud shows no signs of slowing down. Let's closely examine the full story behind the brutal Missouri rap beef that is taking away lives and has the city of Columbia tightly in the grip of its deadly rivalry. To better understand this complex web of violence, let's take a closer look at some of the main figures involved throughout the Columbia rap feud. By looking at the key players and timeline, we start to see how tense words spiraled into a deadly cycle of retaliatory violence between the east and west sides of Columbia. East Chapo, a renowned rapper hailing from the east side of Columbia, has played a significant role in the ongoing feud. In 2016, his involvement in a shooting incident drew attention when he boldly declared he would take care of it himself. Local law enforcement even alleged that East Chapo is an active member of the notorious East Side Gang, further stoking tensions in the ongoing rivalry. What sets East Chapo apart is his audacious willingness to directly confront and taunt his rivals through his music. His lyrics and actions have made him a central figure in escalating the feud, adding fuel to the already raging fire. Chicken P, another prominent East Side rapper, has also played a crucial role in the ongoing conflict. In 2023, he released a track that seemingly boasted about a murder, further intensifying the tension between the rival groups. Chicken P managed to evade capture for several months, heightening the suspension surrounding his role in the murder of Deshaun Houston. On the west side of Columbia, Sam Baldwin IV's, aka SB, story represents the endless cycles of retaliatory violence plaguing Columbia's streets for years. Despite surviving multiple attempts on his life, he was unable to ultimately escape the widespread grip of the ongoing beef. Rappers Dev Red and Musa Corleone have shared the screen with their friend and collaborator SB in a music video, underlining the strength of their bond. Their track, Welcome to the Mob, also shouted out SB, clearly displaying their allegiance to him. While Dev Red and Musa Corleone may not occupy the central stage of the feud, their music and videos unequivocally outline their allegiances. Their connection to SB and the West Side's response to the ongoing conflict is evident, even if they are not the primary instigators. These artists from both the east and west sides of Columbia have played their parts in deepening the divisions and animosities through their music and actions. In a city torn apart by violence, their music has played a role in perpetuating the cycle of retaliation and bloodshed, adding to the complexities of the ongoing conflict. This is only a brief snapshot of some of the most prominent figures feeding into this long-running rivalry. Now let's delve into the pivotal events and incidents that have further ignited tensions over the years, shedding light on the escalating conflict. In 2009, open gang conflicts in Columbia gained widespread notoriety when 16 individuals known as the Cutthroat Gang were federally indicted on alarming drug and gun charges.
They worked hard and diligently. They indicted 13 of the gang members. There are over a dozen more gang members that we've identified in the area, and there will be more indictments forthcoming. The priority of this whole mission is to reduce the gun violence in that area, cut the homicides, cut the robberies, and cut the shootings.
This indictment included their involvement in 3 drive-by shootings across the city. In a way, this signified the recent inception of the relentless violence stemming from neighborhood-based gang rivalries. Fast forward to April 25, 2016, a turning point was reached when rapper East Chapo was involved in the first known shooting incident. While traveling with his mother on Highway 63, their car was targeted in a violent attack. In the aftermath, East Chapo's declaration that he would take care of it himself raised suspicions of his affiliation with the notorious East Side Gang, further fueling the ongoing feud. All three suspects in the shooting, Jonathan N. Banks, 23, Joseph A. Luckett, 22, and Lajuan M. Martin, 22, were arrested and jailed shortly after the incident. Chapo was quoted by Street Stars in 2020 talking about the shooting.
Bro, that happened to me, bro. It happened like probably right before I got locked up. The same day. It's me, it's my mama, it's my best friend, female. I'm going to court. You know what I mean? Easter story. If you listen to the Easter story, I break the whole story down, man. Yeah. I had one of my homeboys turn snake on me, pulled on side of my car, shot me in my face, and shot up the whole whip while my mom then was in the car. Played foul. That's the most got in the game. Only thing that happened to me that.
In September of 2019, a surge of significant violence erupted between the east and west sides of Colombia. On September 13th, a tragic incident unfolded, resulting in the death of 18-year-old Nadria Wright and serious harm to a then 28-year-old Sam Baldwin during a shooting at the intersection of Forest and Grant. Surveillance footage revealed that the assailant, Javian Wallace Lawhorn, had suspiciously circled them at a McDonald's before initiating the attack. Notably, Wallace Lawhorn, who later entered a plea deal without admitting guilt, was implicated in police documents in an ongoing feud with SB. The repercussions of this shooting rippled across the city, setting off a relentless chain of retaliatory killings and assaults between the opposing sides. On the very next day, September 14th, another tragedy struck as 19-year-old Iquan, 9 Spain, met his untimely demise near 5th and Park. This incident led to the arrest of Aaron Pooh Bear Harris and Michael Anderson III. Subsequent court records unveiled the harrowing truth that Spain's death was an accident, caught in the crossfire of the deadly conflict. Barely over a week later, on September 23rd, the city witnessed yet another grim chapter as 2 lives were tragically taken in a shooting on McKee Street and Rice Road. Antonio Houston, 36, and Danielle Marine, 33, both succumbed to their injuries at the scene. No immediate suspects were publicly identified in this heart-wrenching double homicide. A mere 2 months after his own traumatic encounter, Sam Baldwin faced drug charges in November 2019. Law enforcement statements asserted SB had been embroiled in multiple shootings and drug dealing, with allegations of being targeted by a rival West Side gang in retaliation. Over subsequent years, tensions festered between East and West Colombia. Outbreaks of brawls and shootings punctuated this period, perpetuating a climate of fear, suspicion, and instability within the community. The unending cycle of violence seemed to have no respite, as the city grappled with the persistent threat of danger and upheaval. Authorities seemed unable to intervene effectively to stop the clashes. The community was left tense and on edge about where violence would strike next. The scars of these events were etched deep into Colombia's soul, leaving a community forever changed. Years on, the rap feud still shows no signs of slowing. The streets are stained red with the blood from more attacks. More lives are being caught in the crossfire with each new clash. In March 2023, rappers Dev Red and Musa Corleone paid respect to their friend SB in their track, Welcome to the Mob. SB made a poignant appearance alongside them in the music video, underscoring the strength of their bond even before his passing. In the harrowing month of April 2023, tragedy once again struck Sam Baldwin's family and inner circle. As a father, SB found himself in the crosshairs of violence, tragically shot outside his own home, a horrific incident that unfolded alongside his 5-year-old daughter. While his daughter miraculously survived, the same could not be said for SB, who was pronounced dead, leaving his family and community in a state of profound devastation. Law enforcement suspected the involvement of multiple assailants who had been lying in wait, hinting at yet another deliberate attack. Shortly after, on June 26, 2023, the city of Columbia bore witness to the loss of 21-year-old Deshaun Joseph Houston, who fell victim to a fatal shooting on Dove Drive. In response, Columbia police apprehended several young men in connection with the incident, but one prominent figure remained elusive: rapper Chicken P. Known throughout the East Side, Chicken P was under strong suspicion of involvement in the violence, perpetuating the tense atmosphere that had gripped the city. In July of the same year, East Side rapper East Chapo unveiled a diss track aptly titled, Welcome to the Mob. This track was not just an auditory assault, but also employed visual elements to disparage SB and other West Side artists ruthlessly. It included SB's mugshot, alongside clips from Dev Red and Musa Corleone's music video. further escalating the feud between the east and west sides of Colombia.
Matter of fact, go get your brother back. You can't because he dead, and we gon' put you where your brother at.
Later he raps, "This is the part of the song where we can hear Sammy, where Sammy at y'all stand up. Sammy, please stand up."
Part of the song where we can hear Sammy. Where Sammy at, y'all? Stand up, Sammy, somebody please stand up.
There has been speculation that these particular lyrics or verses are referencing Sam Baldwin. Then in October 2023, rapper Chicken P dropped a track called Ain't Did None to Me. The lyrics seem to brazenly boast about murdering someone in retaliation. Speculation rose that he was confessing to Deshaun Houston's shooting.
He got hit all in his nugget cause he tried to look and peek.
On November 3rd, 2023, a pivotal moment unfolded in the ongoing saga of violence that had gripped the east and west sides of Colombia, as Chicken P was taken into custody and he faced a variety of serious charges, including the murder of Deshaun Joseph Houston. In addition to this grave accusation, Chicken P was also charged with counts related to armed criminal action and unlawful possession of weapons. Law enforcement reports that he tried to escape on foot, but he managed to hop into a vehicle that sped off onto Interstate 70. To stop the chase, the officers apparently used spike strips. As per online records, he is now behind bars at the Boone County Jail. His arrest marked a significant turning point in the ongoing investigation into the violence that had plagued the community for an extended period. Throughout the course of this bitter feud, innocent individuals of all ages and backgrounds have tragically found themselves trapped in the crossfire. The conflict, characterized by ongoing hostilities, relentless retaliation, and unforgiving shootouts, has mercilessly claimed more lives, left a trail of victims bearing deep physical and emotional scars, and bred unceasing tragedy. As the streets of Colombia remain stained with the blood of those caught in the crossfire, the cycle of retaliatory killings and injuries continues to escalate. The relentless violence has engendered a climate of perpetual fear, where the echoing sounds of gunshots have become all too common. The community is left in a state of profound distress, grappling with the toll that this unending crisis has taken on its streets. When and how Colombia's rap feud might finally cease remains unclear. For now, the deadly storm continues to inflict damage, with no end in sight. The streets brace for the next tragic chapter in this prolonged war. The question that looms large in the minds of many is, when will it all end? The Colombia community, desperate for respite from the turmoil, pleads for a return to peace and tranquility. Yet the violence refuses to abate, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the city's future. Each new shooting incident further inflates the grim body count, a stark reminder of the brutality that continues to haunt the community. The impact of this feud extends far beyond the individuals directly involved. It reverberates throughout the community, leaving neighborhoods divided and a city in turmoil. The scars run deep, and the consequences are felt by all who call Colombia home. The ongoing rap beef between East and West Colombia has left a wake of needless tragedy in its path. Young lives were cut short, families were torn apart by grief, and an entire community lived in fear of the next attack. How could things escalate to this horrific level of violence and bloodshed? The deadly storm just rages on, threatening to claim more young lives. And the end remains tragically nowhere in sight for this prolonged Colombia conflict, leaving the streets braced for more violence to come. The community longs for the day when these rappers realize lives matter more than petty beef. But that day has yet to arrive.